Well, hello. Still waiting for the video lesson to upload onto YouTube. Not sure why this is going to get up quicker, but it is what it is. Anyways, while I was doing some studying, I came across this verse in John chapter 19 that I hadn't really thought a whole lot about. But it struck me considering the situation that we're in right now, especially a lot of us. I'll just read it. John chapter 19, verse 17 says, carrying the cross by himself, he went to the place of the skull, Golgotha. And what caught me was this idea of him carrying the cross by himself, alone. And in that moment, he was. Yeah, they had Simon of Cyrene come and help carry it. But in that moment, he was alone. And it makes me think about what Prophet Isaiah said about him, despised and rejected by men, a man of sorrows, and acquainted with grief. And we don't really think of Jesus being alone, but considering what he went through, his whole life, his whole existence here on earth. Now, the loneliness that we might be feeling in this isolation, it pales in comparison to what Jesus went through on the cross. Because we're not being really rejected so much. But think about him being isolated from who he had spent eternity with to that point. Now, Philippians 2, the first part of that talks about how he gave up heaven. He gave up the company and the companionship that he had in heaven to come down here. And so he was a fish out of water. He was a unique individual. There was nobody on earth during that moment while he was here that was experiencing the things that he was. He didn't have, nobody else had this dual identity that he had. He was here alone. And Hebrews 2, verse 17 said he was made like us in every way. And verse 14 of that same chapter says he shared in our humanness. And part of that was experiencing loneliness. So, think real quick about the cross. And when he cried out on that cross, my God, why have you abandoned me? Why have you forsaken me? Why have you let me be by myself? Where are you? Through his life here on earth, and especially during that moment, he knows what loneliness is about. He knows it. He experienced it in a way that we never can. But he still experienced it. But what he did on the cross was he created a way so that we would never, ever have to be isolated to the degree that he was. We would never have to be separated from the one that loves us like he was. He created a way so that we will never be lonely again. And in Romans 8:38 and 39 says, we will never, ever be separated from God's love. There's nothing that can separate us from that. It's there for us. And it's there because of what he did on the cross. Matthew 28, verse 20, he promises that he is going to be with us always. So when we go into that lonely moments in our lives, that lonely room, we walk in there and we find he is there already. He's there waiting for us. So we don't have to be alone. We don't have to experience it. And yeah, this moment, you may feel alone. But Jesus is there. He's experienced it all, and he's waiting for you to just open up your eyes and see him. He wants you to realize that he's there, He's going to be with you forever. And before long, I know it seems like a long time, but before long, you're going to know the presence of God in a way that you would never, ever even dreamt of. And it's all possible because of the cross. So today, whenever you're having your moments thinking about the cross, I don't know how you experience communion or Lord's Supper on these days. Just take a moment to think about what he did to defeat loneliness on the cross. He's been there, he's experienced, he felt it, and he killed it. He ended loneliness forever. So just pray that your eyes will be opened up to him while you're here in this moment. And just know that you're never, never alone. May God's peace and his love be present in your life.